Okay, so a field visit. This is what many of you are going to interact with the system through. This is a BMP is already set up in the system, and you've clicked perform a field visit, and so and then that's going to give you a chance to improve the inventory, perform an assessment, perform maintenance if it's necessary, and if you're equipped to do that, and then perform a post-maintenance assessment if that's called for. So if you get through and you just add the inventory, you perform an assessment, and it all looks good, you end right there. You've recorded that this BMP is in good shape and it's been added to the system. If you find that it needs maintenance, then either you're conducting the maintenance yourself and then performing a post-maintenance assessment to indicate the correction that happened and improve the score, or you're basically taking note and saying, I need to send a crew out to maintain this, and then we're going to come back after that maintenance and we're going to perform a post-maintenance assessment. So this is a choose-your-own-adventure thing. You don't have to do any one of these. You can go out there, you can skip right forward to the maintenance, just record your maintenance and be done. We would like it if after you record the maintenance, you also perform a post-maintenance assessment so that you reflect the condition of that BMP after the maintenance was performed, and nobody thinks, hey, this BMP is in bad shape, and has to piece that together. So I'm going to show you this now. So back to the home page. You have a number of different ways to find a BMP. You can either use the Find a BMP feature I showed earlier, or you can add a BMP and then begin a field visit on the BMP that you've added. But I'm going to go ahead and find a BMP. And we're going to use a trash screen because this is one that you're probably going to be interacting with a lot, so it'll give you a chance to get some exposure to what the trash screens are. And so this is what it kind of looks like. This is up in Ladera Ranch with about 200, 250 of these having been bulk added in from the county's data sets. And so as you start to zoom in and you look around, this is, we'll just do TS 1465, and I'm only making this note because this is not a real assessment, and I don't want to do a faulty assessment on a real BMP. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and yes. Yes, you don't see these BMPs because these are Orange County unincorporated BMPs, so they're not associated with your jurisdiction. So you're going to only see the BMPs that are associated with your jurisdiction at this point in time. So I'm going to go ahead and I clicked on that. I'm looking at it. I have a picture of it. I'm seeing, yeah, that looks right. And then I'm going to begin a field visit. And wow, it looks like somebody was out there earlier this week actually visiting it. You were out there. You remember this one. I'm going to go ahead and close this field visit and begin a new one, and then we'll delete that field visit out of the system. And so you have an option when you're performing a field visit. Most of them are going to be dry weather. Very rarely you're going to be out there during wet weather, observing operation during wet weather. Perhaps more often you're going to be doing a post-storm assessment. Some BMPs and WQMPs call for a couple of post-storm assessments each year for you to get out there and see if it's drained in the amount of time. So a post-storm assessment could also be a relatively common one. So dry weather is going to be most common by far. That doesn't imply summer or winter. That just means it's not raining and it hasn't rained recently. You're out there performing a routine inspection. Right, exactly. And so here's our Choose Our Adventure module. This is we have the opportunity to review and improve the inventory. We have the opportunity to conduct an assessment, maintenance, post-maintenance assessment, or wrap up the visit. And if Joseph was out there and you performed assessment and maintenance, you didn't perform post-maintenance assessment, I closed yours, but I know that I'm coming back out and I'm the one who's going to be doing post-maintenance assessment, then I could skip right to post-maintenance assessment and it's going to show up that I did that. If I know that Joseph was out there and he performed an assessment, it flagged the need for maintenance, and I'm just out there to perform maintenance on this, then I'm just going to click maintenance and I can jump right to that. There's no dependencies here. But I'm going to walk you through the whole thing right now. So review inventory means that we can change the location if we want. So if we wanted to change where this was, we could just click at a different point on the map and locate this. I'm not going to, because I presume that this location has been corrected, and I'm not going to mess that up. Photos. So this is a chance for us to add photos to the system. Looks like we already have one here, but if we needed to add a photo, this would be the go through the capturing a photo and uploading it. And then we have a chance to enter the attributes of the system. And so trash screens are one that have quite a few attributes. The jurisdictional managers have gotten together and provided a lot of input on this about what needs to be collected. And this is intended to help really detail what types of screens we have out there, how many, and then some information about the catch basin dimensions. And that could be used on catch basins that don't currently have a screen, but we're trying to collect that information so that the contractor can build a screen for those catch basins. And so we'll ask a number of questions about this. And so there's 3 different types of screens. There's the basically the inlet screens, the ARS. There's trash baskets that can sit in the BMP, and then there's the connector pipe screens. And so you can tell us how many of each one of those and what model they are. For the connector pipe screens, we're allowing you to select from a list that's pre-populated from the State Water Resources Control Board's website of approved manufacturing that meets the full capture standard. And so there you'll be able to just select what type of CPS it is. Connector pipe diameter, various design variations, and then some information about the catch basin itself. Does it have a sump? What's its length parallel to the curb line? So that's what you're seeing when you're looking at it. What's its width into away from the curb line? So how deep, how far off the curb does it go? And then how deep is it from the curb line down? And so collecting some dimensions, all necessary to then retrofit a screen onto that. There's a location of where the connector pipe is. This is another thing that the contractor is going to need to manufacture the connector pipe. And so looking at the system, you know, you're in the curb line, you're looking at the system, you're going to have a chance to specify a coordinate, basically rear right corner, rear left corner, and so on, of where that connector pipe screen is. And then a few other things about the system. Again, you know, you should take direction from your jurisdictional manager about what information they want you to collect. Some of this may be unnecessary for a certain jurisdiction, how they want to use it. If you don't complete it, it's not going to prevent you from saving. It's just going to end up with less information in the record. And then these have relatively few modeling and performance attributes. You probably won't know when you're in the field what the design capture volume of the tributary area to the system is, and that's fine. That's something that could be populated later. You may know what the treatment flow rate is of the system based on what the model of a CPS it is. And so I haven't made any changes to the record, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm not going to save it all. But if you wanted to save your records, you would hit save and continue. I'm just going to go ahead and do that because I didn't make any changes. Just going to show you that the next step is going to kick you to assessment. And so from here, you can either begin an assessment or skip to maintenance. As I mentioned, an assessment is really an inspection, but it returns a score based on what you've entered, and it helps tell whether this BMP is one that needs some attention. So the first few questions on a lot of these are going to be pass-fail questions. So is the inlet condition clogged or damaged? And there's a little description under here about what it's asking you to look at. And so the pass, I'm going to go ahead and hit pass. What's the outlet condition like? Is there clogging in the outlet? Is the CPS all mangled and it's blocking the outlet? If so, hit fail. Otherwise, pass. You're able to enter notes on any of these. The manufactured device, so the ARS, if it's on there, is it all stuck? Is it mangled? Is it not working? Then that would be an inoperable equipment, and you would hit not operable and fail. But I'm going to go ahead and hit pass because they're all working, right? And then this last one is just any significant nuisance conditions. It's clogged up. It's creating a pool in there. It's a cesspool. Nothing necessarily looks broken, but it's creating a nuisance condition. We can't let that persist. It's going to, if you hit fail, it's going to give this BMP a 0, and it's going to basically elevate it to a high level of concern, and that would be appropriate if it's creating a nuisance condition. And then the numeric value here is going to be how much material is accumulated in the BMP. What percent full is that storage volume of the BMP? So effectively, it's pretty much from the bottom of the sump up to the level of the inlet would be 100% full. And so we'll enter, this one was 25% full. And save and continue. And then if you don't have to upload a photo for every assessment, but if you see something funky like, hey, this screen is mangled, I want to take a picture of this to show, whoever's going to look at this and help, relay this to the screen manufacturer who might come out to fix it. This is a chance to take a picture and add some notes to the picture that are attached to this assessment. So unlike the overall BMP pictures, the overall BMP pictures are just intended to establish what the BMP is and elements of it. The assessment picture is supposed to be a point in time. This is what the BMP looked at this point in time when I inspected it. And you're able to upload more than one photo if you want. Okay, so that's the end of my assessment. There were 5 questions in that one. More complicated BMPs like wetlands or bioretention might be a little longer. Yeah, I'm going to take a break and take a question.
On the material?
Yes.
You only have 1%. Meaning that whatever is in there is going to be collected as one item, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of dividing it into the soil, debris, trash, vegetation, or and the different.
Correct. So the question was, in the assessment of condition, that we only had one value to record how much debris and trash had accumulated in the system versus breaking it out into trash and soil and green waste. Basically, those are the 3. That's correct. And when we get into the maintenance record, this is a chance for you to enter how much cubic feet you removed from the system and what percentage breakdown it was between garbage, sediment, and green waste. So we don't expect you just looking in there. If it's just 10% full, you're not going to maintain it. You're probably not going to be able to just look in there and say what percentage it is of each. And we really kind of don't care from a condition assessment if it's more than 40, 50%. It needs to, it definitely needs maintenance. It doesn't matter what the 40, 50% is made up of. This is really just an indicator of does it need maintenance. And next, when we move into the maintenance record, that's going to give us a chance to break it down based on the composition of that material. So that doesn't probably totally need maintenance at 25%, but you're out there anyways, so let's maintain it. So we'll create a maintenance record. And we can choose our maintenance record. We just have 2 different types. Is it routine or corrective? And so in a case like this, we're not fixing anything really. We're just emptying sediment that accumulates naturally. We're going to call it routine, and we're going to say, we can say whatever we want, but this is going to get attached to me. It's going to show up that I did it. So I don't have to enter who did it. It's me that did it. And then I have a chance to enter maintenance attributes. And so you don't have to enter any of these if you don't want to. You can just simply say, I perform routine maintenance on this day, and it enters into the system. Would help a lot more if we were able to collect some information about the system. And that can help kind of with how do we plan for maintenance in the future. And so we're going to say we removed 40 cubic feet from this system. So we have a chance here to enter it in either cubic feet or gallons. You take your pick right now. Don't enter both unless you do the conversion yourself and you get it right, because you entered 40 cubic feet and 80 gallons. We're gonna, which is it? Because those aren't equivalent. So take your pick. Pick the unit that you like and enter it in that unit. And then this is where we can enter the percent trash, percent green waste, and percent sediment. So this is going to be by volume, how many, what percentage of each. And so we'll say we had 20% trash, 40% green waste, and the other 40% sediment. And then that's what we're going to do to record a maintenance event. Yeah. So at this point, we've done the maintenance, we've removed it, we've classified it. entered a few things. You know, I'm not going to enter structural repair or mechanical repair conducted. Nothing was needed. I don't feel the need to make extra clicks here, and it's not necessary. And then save and continue. And so then you're going to have a chance to either wrap up and classify this visit as complete, or you're going to have the chance to begin a post-maintenance assessment. So it's going to step you through the same process. And one of our things on our roadmap is to pre-populate the pre-maintenance assessment into the post-maintenance assessment, so you can only edit what actually changed as opposed to having to click through everything. But right now you would just click through everything and indicate that it's pass, 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 pass. And now we have 0% accumulation. And we'll go ahead and save and continue. And we don't have a picture. Save and continue. And so this is going to give you your wrap-up screen. And it's going to say that this is still in progress because I haven't hit finalize. Inventory was updated. The assessment was performed. Got a score of 3 when it started. Not bad, but it's dropping down because of the sediment accumulation. We entered maintenance. We entered 4 of 7 observations, so you can just check, yeah, that matches what I thought I entered. And then when we're done, we get a 5. 5 is the best. We're back to perfect. And at that point, we can finalize the visit. And that closes the visit, puts it into the record of that for that BMP. And so if I show you 1465, that BMP, we'll view the details of that BMP, and we're going to see that there was a assessment performed, or there was a field visit performed by Kimberly. It was by Joseph, but using Kimberly's account. And then there was one performed by me today. And there's no problem with leaving it in progress necessarily. We would like you to skip all the way to the wrap-up visit and say complete if you're done. If you don't have any intention to come back and finish it up, we'd like you to go ahead and click all the way down and hit wrap-up visit and then say finalize visit. And we're looking to make that button available on more screens so that if you're done and you don't want to perform maintenance, don't want to perform an assessment, that you can just hit finalize visit basically at any point in the workflow.